Today we'll be learning about renewable resources. India is anticipated to be the biggest contributor to the renewables boom in 2021, with the country's annual growth in renewables doubling from 2020. Prime Minister of India mentioned about having huge renewable energy development plans for India for the next 10 years, which are likely to create business opportunities of around $20 billion in a year. In today's class, we will learn about solar energy, wind energy, ocean energy, geothermal energy and bioenergy. The non-conventional energy is also called as renewable energy. The non-conventional sources of energy include solar energy, wind energy, biomass energy, fuel cells, electric vehicles, tidal energy, hydrogen energy and geothermal energy. Solar energy is one of the most important sources of non-conventional energy. Solar energy is non-exhaustible, reliable and pollution-free. It may be utilized for water heaters, power generation devices, air conditioning, space heating, development of pisciculture and multifarious uses of water and refrigeration. The average amount of solar energy received in the Earth's atmosphere is about 1,353 kilowatt per square meter. It is 1,000 times the total consumption of the global energy. Being situated in the subtropical latitudes, India receives higher amount of solar energy. The greater part of the country has more than 300 solar days. The total amount of energy received from the sun is about 5,000 trillion kilowatt hour per year. The solar photovoltaic technology enables the conversion of solar radiation into electricity without involving any moving part like turbine. Over 6,50,000 solar PV systems have been installed in the country. In many parts of the country, the solar energy programs have been implemented. One such example is the Rural Energy Cooperative at Sagar Island in the Sundarban Delta of West Bengal. Similar programs have been implemented in the other islands in the Bay of Bengal, the desert of Jodhpur, Kalyanpur and Coimbatore. Wind is an important source of non-conventional energy. It is cheap, pollution-free, eco-friendly and can be developed away from the sources of fossil fuels. Since ancient times, wind energy was utilized in sailing ships and windmills. India ranks 4th in the world after United States of America, Spain, Germany and China. For the generation of wind energy, a wind speed of more than 5 km per hour is considered to be suitable. Wind speeds above 10 km per hour are prevalent over parts of the coastal regions of Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Kerala, Odisha, West Bengal, Uttarakhand, Jammu and Kashmir, Lakshadweep and Andaman and Nicobar Islands. The state of Rajasthan and Ladakh also record suitable consistency of wind speed. Windmills can be operated there to harness wind energy. In India, the total potential of wind energy is estimated to be around 3,02,000 megawatts at 100 meters. Wind energy projects have been implemented in 22 states of the country. Muppandal in Kanyakumari district of Tamil Nadu is one of the most important sites for wind farm. The maximum potential of wind energy lies in the states of Karnataka, Gujarat, Rajasthan and Tamil Nadu. The potential for wind power generation is estimated to be a 1,02,788 megawatts. A power capacity of 71 megawatts has been established at 33 locations in 9 states. It is expected that in 2019, the wind power energy capacity shall improve by 3 to 3.5 gigawatts. Jaisalmer is India's largest onshore wind farm. Its installed capacity is 1,064 megawatts. The largest wind farm in Odisha is Damanjodi with a 99 megawatt wind power project. Now let's look at the state-wise data per year-wise and power installed capacity in this particular table. Please go through it. Well, when you look at the table, you understand that Tamil Nadu has the largest installation of wind turbines in the country in the Muppandal Perungudi area near Kanyakumari. This is one of the largest concentrations of wind farm capacity of 1,500 megawatts at a single location anywhere in the world. A center of wind energy technology has been set up in Chennai. The wind energy estates are being set up in the joint sector or in private sector. The various softwares involved in the wind power technology are Windographer, WASP, Wind Farmer, Metadyne, OpenWind, WindSim, GIS, etc. The tidal waves and sea waves are the main sources of ocean energy. India has a very long coastline, more than 6,100 kilometers, but the ocean energy production is limited. The suitable areas for generation of tidal and sea wave energy are the Gulf of Khambat, the Gulf of Kutch, the estuary of Hooghly. Well, according to one estimate, the Indian coasts have the potential to generate 40,000 megawatts of electricity. A plant has been established near Thiruvananthapuram, Virangam, which is generating about 150 megawatts of electricity through sea waves. The main problem in the exploration of ocean energy is the high cost involved in the construction of civil works. India has very limited potential of geothermal energy. According to one estimate, the total geothermal energy is about 600 megawatts. There are 115 hot water springs in the country and 350 sites from which geothermal energy can be produced. The Puga Valley in Jammu and Kashmir, the Manikaran area in Himachal Pradesh, the western slopes of Western Ghats in Maharashtra and Gujarat, the Narmada Son Valley and the Damodar Valley are the main areas which have the potential for the generation of thermal energy. Bioenergy is a clean source of energy which improves sanitation, hygiene, and the living style of the rural population. The technique is based on the decomposition of organic matter in the absence of air to produce gas. Biogas is used for cooking and lighting fuel in specially designed stove and lamps respectively. According to one estimate, India has a capacity to produce biogas to the extent of 25,000 million cubic meters. The leftover digested slurry serves as manure. This can meet 50% of the rural domestic fuel requirements. Moreover, it can produce 7 million tons to nitrogen, 3 million tons phosphate, 5 million tons of potassium, and over 50 million tons of compost manure. It may be seen from the table that Uttar Pradesh has the highest potential in the biogas, followed by Madhya Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, and Bihar. The highest production of biogas is, however, in the state of Maharashtra with 11.9%, followed by Gujarat, UP. The development of biogas is adversely affected because of the non-availability of cattle dung, water, labor, space, and low temperatures in certain parts of the country, especially during the winter season. What is renewable energy again? It is an energy that is generated from the renewable sources, the ones that can be replenished quickly on par with the human demand. The examples of renewable energy include solar energy, wind energy, tidal energy, etc. These sources, if used to produce energy, can reduce the amount of carbon emitted into the atmosphere. Renewable energy is often used in many areas. Let's look at some of them. For electricity generation, heating or cooling of air and water, transportation purposes, standalone power system, or remote area power supply for rural areas. In the recent years, renewable energy is globally established as the mainstream energy source. It has been estimated that the share of renewables in the global electricity generation is more than 24% by the end of 2018. Also, renewables make up 1/3 of the global installed power capacity. This is mainly due to the policy initiatives and targets that have sent a positive signal to the industries. Due to these facts, the cost of renewable energy are decreasing and the technologies are advancing to make it far more efficient and cheaper. Despite the progress in renewables adoption, it is insufficient to achieve the goals under the Paris Agreement or the Sustainable Development Goal number 7 within the deadline. This is because of the fossil fuel companies' continuous lobbying for delay or block of the climate change policies of various governments across the world and also influencing the public opinions with regards to climate change. Now let's look at why renewable energy is important for India, for reducing the oil demand. It is evident that India has vast amount of renewable resources. What India doesn't have is the conventional energy sources like petrol and diesel. India imports 84% of its oil needs. With the volatile nature of international politics in the Middle East, India constantly faces insecurity in the global oil trade. If India opts for renewable energy source, the global oil prices won't affect India's economy. And then to reduce pollution, according to a study in 2019, 7 of the world's top 10 most polluted cities are in India. New Delhi is deemed to be the most polluted capital on the earth. It is vital that we address the issue before the situation worsens in the major cities in India. And also for rural electrification, India still has many locations that do not have access to electricity. Electrification of remote areas and inaccessible terrains is not possible using grid connectivity. The only possible solution is the use of renewable energy sources to promote electrification to these areas. This is because renewable energy sources are inexhaustible and the sourcing is versatile. Now let's look at few of the government initiatives to promote renewable energy sector. India is the first country in the world to have an exclusive ministry that is involved in the promotion and development of the renewables, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, something called as a National Green Corridor Program. This particular project aims at synchronizing energy that is produced from renewable energy sources with the conventional stations. Next, we have the National Clean Energy Fund. It is the fund created using the carbon tax for backing research and development of innovative eco-friendly technologies. Then we have National Biogas and Manure Management Program. It is a central scheme that promotes setting up of a family type biogas plants, mostly for the use of rural and semi-urban households. The energy is generated from biodegradable waste such as cow dung, waste from garden, kitchen, etc. Biomass Power and Congregation Program. This scheme aims at optimum utilization of the country's biomass resources in the power grid. And then we have Draft National Wind Solar Hybrid Policy. Through this particular policy, the government seeks to promote new renewable energy projects and hybridization of the existing ones. It is a policy that provides a comprehensive framework to promote large grid connected wind solar photovoltaic hybrid systems. And next we have the Off-Grid and Decentralized Solar Photovoltaic Application Program. This particular scheme aims to promote off-grid application of the solar photovoltaic systems for meeting the lighting and energy needs of the individuals, communities, commercial and industrial institutions. National Offshore Wind Energy Policy. This particularly involves the utilization of India's exclusive economic zone for the development of offshore wind farms up to 200 nautical miles from the baseline. Promotion of the solar parks and ultra mega solar power projects. This is another scheme. The aim of this mega project is to set up at least 25 solar parks and mega solar power projects to produce 20,000 megawatts of solar energy between 2014-15 and 2021-2022. Grid Connected Solar Rooftop Program. This particular scheme promotes the installation of solar panels across the country. It involves the installation of solar panel at the rooftops of residential, commercial, industrial and institutional buildings. Next, we have the Sustainable Rooftop Implementation for Solar Transfiguration of India, Srishti scheme. This particular scheme provides financial aids to beneficiaries who install a solar power plant at the rooftop within the country. Next, we have a policy for repowering of the wind power projects. The main objective of this policy framework is to promote optimum utilization of the wind energy resources. This policy aims to replace the old wind turbines and promotes a newer version of the wind energy technologies. Then we have the Small Hydropower Program. It involves the development of small hydropower projects up to 25 megawatts station capacity. The potential of the program is about 20,000 megawatts and it is mostly in the Himalayan states where the rivers are abundant and in states which have sufficient irrigation canals. Next, we have the National Solar Mission. It is a part of the National Action Plan on Climate Change. It is an initiative to promote solar power in India. This program was initiated in 2010 with a target of 20 gigawatts by 2022. Later, this target was increased to 100 gigawatts in 2015. By 2017-18, India has surpassed the original target of 20 gigawatts, 5 years ahead of its deadline. Next, we have the promotion of renewable purchase obligations, our policies that make it mandatory for large energy consumers to utilize a certain percentage of their energy from the renewable sources. Next, we have the FDI policy. FDI up to 100% is allowed in the renewable energy sector under the automatic route, and no prior government approval is needed. Then we have a new hydropower policy 2018 till 2028, which has been drafted for the growth of hydro projects in the country. The Ministry of New and Renewable Energy has decided to give custom and excise duty benefits to the solar rooftop sector, which in result will reduce the cost of setting up as well as generate power, thus increasing growth. The Indian Railways is taking increased efforts via sustained energy efficient measures and high use of clean fuel to reduce emission levels by 33% by 2030. Next, we have the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Urja Suraksha Evam Utthan Mahabhiyan, PM Kusum. The scheme aims at providing financial and water security to farmers by means of utilizing solar energy capacities of 25,750 megawatts by 2022. The Ministry of New and Renewable Energy on its website also provides Akshay Urja Portal and India Renewable Idea Exchange, IRIX. IRIX portal is a platform that enabled the exchange of ideas among energy conscious Indians as well as the global community. Now let's look at India's journey in renewable energy and how much we could utilize renewable energy till now. Well, India is the 5th largest producer of the solar energy and the 6th largest producer of renewable energy. However, India has not reaped the cost-effective benefits of the renewables. The developing countries like China and Brazil have taken advantages of low-cost renewable energy to promote their economic growth. According to International Renewable Energy Agency, China ranks first as the largest producer of renewable energy, while Brazil ranks third in the list. Between the years 2014 and 17, China's addition of its renewable energy capacity is 6 times more than India's renewable capacity. While China increased its solar energy capacity by 105.5 gigawatts, India has increased its capacity to only 14.3 gigawatts. In other words, India has increased its capacity only 1/7 of China's capacity. The developed economies like the United States of America and Japan have twice this capacity. Furthermore, the government has imposed safeguard duty on imported solar PV cells. This, along with the depreciation of rupee against the US dollar, is reducing the cost energy benefits of the renewables. One of the crucial objectives for the promotion of renewable energy is to advocate the reduction of and finally eliminate the use of fossil fuels. In contrast to the objective, according to Reuters, India's annual coal demand has risen by 9.1% during the year ending March 2019. Coal is among the top 5 most imported goods in India. The coal imports have risen from 166.9 million tons in 2013-14 to 235.24 million tons in 2018-19. According to a study by the Center for Science and Environment, New Delhi, India's coal-powered thermal power plants are the most inefficient and polluting in the world. 75% of these plants do not comply with the government regulation. Laws like the Coal Mines Special Provision Act of 2015 and the Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Amendment Act of 2015 have increased the domestic coal usage for power generation. This has worsened the environmental pollution. According to a report by Center for Financial Analysis, only private banks are willing to invest in clean energy projects, and there has been 90% decline in the investments in the coal power projects in 2018 compared to the previous year. According to a report by Center for Financial Accountability that was released on June 2018, out of the total lending of 83,680 crore rupees of 72 energy projects, 12 were of coal-powered thermal plants that had combined capacity of 17 gigawatts. These thermal power plants have obtained a loan worth 60,767 crore rupees, while the other 60 renewable energy projects with a combined capacity of 4.5 gigawatts were able to obtain 22,913 crore rupees. This report also stated that 8 of the top 10 lenders for these thermal power plants were from public sector banks. Through this report, it is evident that the public sector banks are not willing to invest in new and emerging technologies. These nascent renewable energy technologies require financial assistance to grow. If governments and public sector banks do not promote these technologies, India will not be able to stay afloat in the era that is dominated by the race for clean energy resources, and also will not be able to address the crisis of climate change and global warming. Now let's understand what are the challenges while shifting to renewable energy. Firstly, of course, the high initial cost. While the coal-based power plants require an initial investment of about 4 crore rupees per megawatt, the investments for solar and wind energy is far higher. The wind-based power plant with capacity utilization of 25% requires 6 crores per megawatt. For more efficient capacity utilization of 80%, the initial investment is about 18 crore rupees per megawatt. For solar power plants with a capacity of 15% requirement is 18 crore rupees in investments. Thus, due to high cost, many opt for investment in coal-based power plants. Next, of course, the impediment is weather dependent. Renewable energy sources like solar, wind, tide, etc. are dependent on weather conditions. If the favorable weather conditions are not available, it becomes inefficient and unfeasible. The next impediment is location. Most renewable plants occupy large areas of space. This brings in the issue of cost of vast land area and other issues related to land acquisition. Also, the distance between the renewable energy source and the grid increased the cost of efficiency of renewable energy. And also the drawbacks of wind energy technology. The turbines have caused noise pollution and are also killing birds while functioning. And we also have consequences of the hydropower plants. The dams destroy the habitat of the aquatic organisms and also hinder their migration pattern. They also reduce the movements of the sediments and nutrients, which in turn affect the floodplains and deltas. Integration with the main grid. It is the area India needs to focus upon to improve the uptake of renewables. Shortage and battery solutions are required in huge quantities. Next, 24/7 supply plus storage system, which is a huge challenge. Next, the agriculture sector. High amount of power is consumed in the agriculture sector. Hence, the challenge is to provide enough power and energy to each household and also to the agricultural sector. Renewable energy is an energy that is produced from natural processes and continuously replenished. Few examples of renewable energy are sunlight, water, wind, tides, geothermal heat and biomass. The energy that is provided by renewable energy resources is used in 5 important areas such as air and water, cooling or heating, electricity generation, the rural sector and transportation. Hope you've had a great lesson. Thank you and have a nice day.